Well, good evening and welcome to this edition of the Island Stats Cricket Show. I'm your host, Earl Basting. Joining me is my co-host, Andre Doc Manders. Doc, we were due to have six matches played over the weekend. However, only five were played. We had one First Division match take place yesterday, three Premier Division matches today, and a First Division match as well today. Let me just run down the scores from the Premier Division. Bayliss Bay won by 72 runs over St. David's Cricket Club. Bayliss Bay were all out for 208, and then Bold St. David's out for 136. Cleveland County won by 9 wickets over Warwick Workmen's Club. Warwick Workmen's were 110 all out. Cleveland scored 112 for 1. Western Stars won by 294 runs against Southampton Rangers. Western Stars scored 326 for 7 and bowled Southampton Rangers out for 32. In the First Division, yesterday, Willicotts won by 9 runs over the Bermuda Under-19 team. Willicotts were all out for 164 and then bowled the Under-19 team out for 155. Somerset Cricket Club today defeated Devonshire Recreation Club by 214 runs. Somerset Cricket Club scored 275 all out and then bowled Devonshire Recreation Club out for 61. Well, Doc, interesting matchups today in the Premier Division. Let's jump right into it. That Eastern County battle. Bayliss Bay taking on St. David's. Bayliss Bay sprung a surprise on many people with the inclusion of Dalray Rollins in the team. He was their top scorer with 36. Azende Furbet scored 29. Shaquille Otterbridge scored 27. But 208 on that wicket. St. David's, there's a lot of work to be done in St. David's for morale's sake. They have decent players, but they spend more time arguing and fussing with each other that takes away from the actual playing of the game. There were early opportunities for them to either take a wicket, take a catch. It didn't go their way, and it just got worse and worse and worse. Rick is going to have some work cut out for him. They've have 2 losses now. To play 2 games, they have 2 losses.
Yeah, I haven't seen St. David's play yet, but yeah, that's what you don't need in a team early in the season because it's going to be a long season. So I'm pretty sure they need to iron that out quickly. Um, because once if you have a team in trouble like Bay and you're arguing, that doesn't make matters, better. But if you knock Bay off for 208 with Dow rating team, you're still in it. You know, so I don't know what was what the big fuss was about, but yeah, they would definitely need to turn that on quickly because there's only 2 games. They only played 2 games, and they're arguing already. Yeah, Rick's probably have to sort that out,
Yeah,
and got to sort that out quickly.
yeah. One of the biggest problems that they have, it's all personalities. They have some decent individual players that struggle to play together, and there's personalities are clashing.
Um, like I said, and there's a lot of experienced players, so you would think like you know that that playing over the years. I mean, these guys played together for the last 10 or 15 years. They would think that they know each other's personality, but like I said, I'm surprised that that's even happening. I haven't really seen Sevilla play this year.
Yeah,
Um, like I said, but that's not good for them and good for maybe the younger players because there's got a few younger players in the team,
yeah,
and
definitely.
for them to be around around that early in the season, it's not cool for them. So
I
and the
mean,
games are not going to be getting no easier for
easy,
them. So
yeah. I mean, they find
they
themselves in the same position as a Warwick right now.
yeah
You're stirring up at this. You're stirring up at everybody.
yeah
Derek
yeah
Freeman built 10 overs, 2 maidens, 4 for 49. Justin Pitcher 4 overs, 2 for 27. Isaiah O'Brien 2 for 28, off of 6.3. They kept themselves like they did against St. George's in the game, You know, things didn't go all their way, but they had an opportunity to be in the game. Um, they opened the inning with George O'Brien and OJ Pitcher. That
Yeah.
backfired because right after that they sent Saki Robinson in, and then Ricardo Bregman. So at one point in time, they were 18 for 3, and they just never were able to recover. Justin Pitcher went and it was 32 for 4, and then there's a stand between OJ and Derek that took them from 32 for 4 to 103 for 5, but they needed more of that. But unfortunately, they came up, 7 to 2 runs short of that
Mm.
target, which now next match puts them a definite must-win situation.
Oh yeah, because like we said, with each team playing, they have every team once. We talked about that earlier in our show that you have to get the points early. You can't say, okay, well, we wait to the second round, get me because it's only six teams or seven.
17, seven
Seven
teams.
teams. So one team has a
Mhm.
bye.
Right,
Yeah, so I mean, there's two, so there's still, there's still, team like St. David, you still can't count them out, but they would definitely have to turn around quickly. Because they got enough decent bets down there, where
right.
that they shouldn't be in that predicament.
Yeah.
I didn't see the scorecards for them, so I'm assuming that OJ Fisher was probably the highest score in it.
No, Derek Bregman was. Derek got 57. OJ got 40.
Okay.
Yeah, Derek got 57. OJ got 40. They were the only two in double figures. Only two
Oh,
batsmen in double
Derek made
figures.
runs last week too.
Yes, he did. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So his
So,
his his, the bat and balls.
yeah.
That's one plus for them.
Right.
But they would need to win. They would need other guys to definitely chip in.
Right.
You know.
I think we see the benefits of the extra training he's getting with the national team,
Yeah.
benefiting him early in the season. Let's hope that it's something that can continue because I've seen them train with the national team, and put in a lot of time and effort,
Yeah.
and I think we've seen early in the season we've seen those rewards, and
Yeah.
may they long continue right through, to helping Bermuda qualify for the World Cup.
Yeah, let's hope that all. The coach has been talking about the morale of the team is having the papers for the last couple, the papers for keeping the unity in the team. So, and that's where it starts from. I think they had, you look at in Argentina, they don't do it early. You always talk about teams going to be early, playing matches early, and you see what happens in your results. Because you born the team, the coaches got to look at the batting lineup, the Berlin, and different game plans, situation, what side you build on. So, yeah, so, it's good to see that a lot of the players is putting that into the domestic season. You know, still early.
Right.
And like you said, for Derek to be getting runs and wickets is good. And I'm sure you're gonna see the rest of the squad, number of squad players. You'll be seeing
Yeah.
them making them getting runs and getting wickets too.
Sure. Sure. Interestingly enough, St. David's next game is at home against Western Stars.
Yeah, yeah,
But clearly, let's jump to that Stars game today. They put on a big stand against Southampton Rangers.
mm,
When you start saying you put on 326 for 7 after 50 overs, they had Trey Manders scoring 103, Dante Wellman scoring 72, Deontay Darling scoring 40, Brian Hall 25 not out. That stand between Trey and Deontay
yeah,
made a big difference because they took it from 141 to 286, so 145 run partnership.
yeah,
At a time where it could have gone totally opposite.
Yeah, that's what we talked about. Partnerships, and like you said, that was a good partnership. 145,
Mhm.
and I kind of think that knocked the stuff from right out of
Rangers.
Rangers. After
Mhm.
that, I saw a bit of the game. The wicket, was staying fairly low, but the
Right.
bunts was pretty. It was not as bad as last week. But once you got in on the wicket, you had to stay in. You know,
Mm.
and I think you know Stars had talked about that for the last couple of days about people being on top and betting through. And he
Right.
said you bet 50 overs, and that was the aim today to bet 50 overs.
Mm.
And you see, I mean, they scored 300 and something, 320, but
326. Yeah.
they still got the object. The main goal was to bet the 50 overs because the last two games they haven't been betting the 50 overs. The
Right.
Rangers won the toss and sent them in. So if the wicket was too damp early,
Hmm.
I talked to some of the guys and they said the wicket was damp. So I'm not too sure what Stars was gonna do, but
Right.
I think after and they had talked about that too in the event that they lost the toss because
Right.
they had a little advantage playing up there last week, so they knew
Yeah.
the wicket is kind of damp,
Hmm.
earlier. So I think the openers that main goal was to stay out the at least for an hour, get the shine off the ball,
Right.
and then when the other batsmen come in, at least they got a decent not a decent total, but at least the ball shines off.
Hmm.
And where I
Hmm.
saw once the shine was off, betting was a lot easier. And the reason I talked about that because when I saw Rangers innings, no one's the ball was swinging around a bit. Early Seth and Quan Smith had the ball swinging a bit, and the only difference with them, none of the batsmen really settled down. Um, to at least get the shine off, at least first 10 overs. They was losing wickets early. I mean, like they was like 13 for 4, and it was so. That's what I'm saying. Like, the wicket staying low like that, there you really had to buckle down and bet. Um, but I was impressed with Rangers bowling when like the last 10 overs I saw. Even though like people say they got a lot of players that we don't know about, but I'm seeing some players in there that even though these guys probably haven't played cricket for a while, um, the hands were always up, and the batting, I mean, I'm sorry, the bowling was even in the depth, it was bowling really good. So that's something that I was impressed with in Diane's. Wait for you to come back, Earl. Okay, gents, ladies and gents, we're just waiting for Earl to come back. Um, I don't know what happened there, but hopefully she'll be back in the next few minutes. Um, so we will wait till he returns.
Sorry
Lost
about
you, Earl.
sorry about that. I don't know what happened there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I was saying, last week Trey done the damage with the ball in hand. This week he does the damage to the ball.
yeah. I didn't see too much of his innings, but I got there. Like I said, he just got over 100, 103. Um, but he said it was he started off, like I said, normal. It's normal. normally would start, like, a little, I wouldn't say shaky, but he was just very mindful, careful, with the wicket staying low and just trying to bet low. Those guys had a game plan, like I said, they had talked about it through the week, that on that wicket, and I told them too, when we had our little meeting, that the guys gonna have to stay around. It's application. You know what the wicket's doing, and I told them the wicket would probably be better, and it was. From what I saw, the week before it was staying low and jumping. This week it kind of stayed low, but it still had a pretty even one. Every now and then one would stay lower than anticipated. That's why I try to tell them. Most of the time, a lot of the players, stars players, anyway, we try to stay on the front foot.
Sure.
As opposed to going back. And like I said, and that kind of game plan kind of worked. The only thing Rangers being inexperienced in that betting. Like I said, it didn't work out too good for them. And chasing that big total, they would have needed to at least open us the top 3 or 4, to get a good start. And like I said, they never did, and they was build up quickly for 32. Like I said, it's still early in the season, but I was impressed with them on the field. They never get up, even though they scored 300 or something. You could see everybody still in court. It's like you said, between St. Davis game, guys are arguing on the field and stuff. When I came there, the Stars was on 290 or 2 whatever it was, and those guys were stealing the game. They was clapping each other, and I didn't see that seriously, and I was very impressed that every bowler was still trying to put the ball in the spots. Because Stars at the time, look, they could get more, but the last 5 overs that I saw, Rangers really built out to a lot of them because Brian was in it. Brian's a big hitter.
Yes.
And he couldn't get the ball away because they was burning to the, to the wicket and let the wicket do the thing. And that was good to see. And like I said, they never dropped their head. So
they had
I got to give them kudos for that.
Yeah, definitely. Brown Swan took 3 for 61 off of 7.4 in that inning. And then obviously...
And he, not to cut you over, but he came back to get out. He broke the partnership between Deontay and Trey.
Yeah,
got
him both.
So got both of them out. Yeah, and like I said, he came back his second spell. I think both Rivers was good now. They started to push it a bit.
Right.
But like I said, they like we talked about, that's what I'm glad to see. Like, like I said, never dropped. Dylan was still into the game, rotating his bowlers. He bowled really well today too, Dylan.
Right.
And the boy Swan, and what I was impressed with the boy Bregman too. I think it was the opening bowler. Dante, yeah, he came back his second spell, and he's so hey, it's something they needed to work on. They need to really work on that bet. Dylan didn't get no runs today, and Jelani, old boy. But it's other people. It's got to stop. Even Bregman batted pretty good. He got not out.
You got 9, yeah.
Yeah. So it's something for them to work at.
I mean, they were in trouble from the start. They went 1 for 1, 2 for 1, 3 for 5, 4 for 13, 5 for 6, 5 for 15, 6 for 7, none for 15, 7 for 28, 8 for 28, 9 for 32, all out for 32.
I think they lost a wicket in the first over, and it was a really decent batsman.
Yeah, second ball,
ran him, and I'm gonna tell you that was a ball that would have probably got any batsman out because the ball shot real low, and that was one of the ones where Seth hit the spot, and unfortunate for him, I mean it was pretty well plumbed. He went back and hit him back foot, but it stayed low.
Right.
It's one of those ones where you say, "Oh man, he could have probably tried to stay forward."
Right.
But it was kind of short, so he had to go back. But then after that, they kind of never recovered. Seth was good and right, line length straight at the wicket, and
6 overs, 2 maidens, 7 for 12.
7 for
That's
12.
some
Yeah.
burling, mate. That's some
And,
burling.
and after that, he got one album done. I think he got like 3 or 4 build offers.
Yeah, he got Nakori Smith build, Makai Wellman build, and Jelani Oboy build.
Right. So he got 3 build too. So
Right.
you know that's why some of the LBW's decisions were probably all right. I think
Yeah.
maybe Dale and Richardson probably got a hard one. I think
Yeah.
it looked like he got some bad on it, but I couldn't really see who I am. I think he was probably the most unfortunate one.
Right.
But most of the other rest were like build and like I said, the wicket was staying low.
Yeah.
But yeah, hey, I think that was a good result for Stars. That brings up the run rate.
Mm-hmm.
And they're getting some more players back, from school and stuff. And another name is a few other teams that are getting players back, from school now. So you would probably see teams getting a little stronger.
Yeah.
On paper. But Earl, the big question is, what is my mate Delray doing back? I heard through the grapevine, and I said, no, that's not true. I got a message on one of my chats this morning. They said Delray is back. I said, Delray, this guy's talking about it. Delray's not back. And then come to find out, the guy said, yeah, he's paying for Bay. I said, what? I said, this guy's got a contract for Sussex. So, but it's good for him to be back. But
right.
I don't know what exactly went down, but it's gonna be good for Bermuda's team because still if him back now, that's even making the Bermuda team gelling and training and stuff.
Right. Right.
So hey, and it's good for Bermuda.
Well, I know they were lining him up for the shorter version of the game. He's been playing the seconds.
Yeah.
But the shorter version of the game for Sussex right now, they have a few friendlies coming up. Maybe what's that? T20 friendlies.
T20, yeah.
So maybe he was given permission
to
come home for a bit.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them are the second 11s, and he plays in the first team for the T20s.
Yeah. He definitely does.
They don't play a game until actually Friday, May 26th. So there could be a time where he could be on the island for a little bit.
Yeah.
Up until that time, it's almost like without knowing a lot of the details, it's almost like when players get permission to go play IPL.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm not too worried. I think it's just gonna boost the domestic season because by him being back, I heard from the grapevine already when Mitch came from Bay. He said it was so much people down there watching the games.
Yeah.
So,
once they realized he was playing, it changed a lot. I watched the crowd build very fast, and obviously when he went in, he struggled a bit only because I guess the humidity. His hands were sweating a lot and so forth. Where he hasn't played in these conditions for a while.
Right, and the ball's a little slower.
Right.
Even I tell you what, even in the UK now, even though they're getting rain and it's cool and stuff, the wickets are still going.
Right.
And the ball's still coming on. So now it's just a little slower. You probably, he's gonna have to get adjusted to. But I remember, even some of the younger boys I spoke to when they came back from the UK. They had to, get used to the wickets just a little slower too. So the ball's not coming on like in the UK you could play your shots from ball one if the ball's bad. You know what I mean? But down here you got to wait till the bunts. The bunts is a little, and then it's the early season. So the wickets a little slow anyway. So,
one of the things I saw St. David's do, which was really, really smart. So when Delray came to bat, they took one of their shortest bowlers, a youngster, Aaron, and bowled at Delray. So he's not getting that height for that bounce. The ball's already coming out of his hand low because he's a short guy. You know what I mean? So that strategy was, let's keep the ball as low as possible out of the hand at one end and see if he can, see what we can get done. He had a good call for LBW, was turned down. And then put would have had a good call for LBW. That was turned down. Very next ball, Dowray hit it straight in the hands of George O'Brien. But it's one of those things where St. David's had a plan once they realized he was coming in to bat. They had a plan and they stuck to it. So he scored 40 runs, but I think they would have felt good that the fact that he was out, and now they're back to the regularly scheduled program. They need to get the rest of these guys out.
Yeah. So what was the little boy Panky? He was been on off breaks or just seemed?
No, he was medium. He was coming in medium.
Okay.
Yeah, medium. Yeah. But because of his height, he's not going to get that bounce.
Yeah.
So
that game was played at Bay, down Bay, right? Bay, yeah. Bay.
Yeah. So, yeah. Well, let's take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk Cleveland and who did they play? Warwick United. We'll be right back. Warwick.
Putting down the weapons.
You seeing this? John Barrett & Son is bringing us something fresh and exciting for the new year. Vi Antioxidant Infusion Beverage. Vi delivers the natural antioxidant benefits of the coffee fruit in glorious combination with a variety of exotic fruit flavors, with only 1 gram of sugar and 10 calories per bottle. The folks at Vi are inviting us on a world tour through these amazing flavors. Brasilia blueberry, Zambia Bing cherry, Costa Rica clementine, Malawi mango, Panama peach, Ipanema pomegranate, Kupang strawberry kiwi, and more. Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
I'm also thankful and grateful because my greatest value of my life is my legacy.
But why I do it? I feel supposed to do it. I was put here to be here, to do what I'm doing right now. Once I see somebody moving, it's the greatest joy for me. There's a little person being born.
I am thankful that people have given me the trust, for me to empower them, from my players to my family to friends, and that's what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful that people have allowed me and trusted me to be in their life.
And welcome back. Well, Doc, Cleveland County are really making statements early in the season, especially after this match against Warwick Workmen's. They restricted Warwick Workmen's to 110, building them out for that score, and then would score 112 for one. I think what they really want to make sure that they do is stay on top of every team that they can get an opportunity to get on top of, and just continue to keep it going. Looking at the scorecard for Warwick, they had a good opening stand with Malachi Jones and Tracy James. They put on 33 for the opening wicket partnership, but then wickets tumbled right after that. Malachi scored 27, Tracy 10, Omari DeShields and Luke Horan both scored 13, and then no one else was able to get into double figures, which then they fell right off after being 63 for 3. In the bowling department, you had Alan Douglas, 7 overs, 3 maidens, 3 for 13. Makai McGowan, 5 overs, 2 for 19. And Ty Bray Robinson, 5 overs, 1 for 35. There were 3 runouts. 3 runouts. Unbelievable for Warwick.
Yeah, you can't get 3 runouts in a match. That's definitely going to cause you. I don't care if it's a non-batsman, but just imagine if you got 1 or 2, you're good batsmen on a
Right.
runout. So, yeah, that's.
Tracy James was run out.
See, wow, unfortunate.
And Keon Butterfield was run out.
So that's one of the top batsmen. Unfortunately, that's the game, and runouts. I'm seeing runouts change matches all around the world.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, we had talked about Warwick, but the batting lineup. I could see this is just my opinion. I'm not the coach of Warwick, but in 50 overs, to open with Melly and Quasey. Like you said, one or two, both of them got out early. They're putting a lot of pressure on the middle guys. I'm not saying, the 2020, that's fine because it's only 20 overs.
Right.
That could probably work. But, if I was the coach or anything, I would try to split them up. I mean, Quasey's an open batsman.
Right.
I would have to put Melly like at least 4 or 5 to balance it out. But Melly's been opening for Warwick too. Last season,
right?
So, whether they talked about it or not, I'm not too sure. But
but the experience of Malachi playing for Bermuda, playing cup match, playing counties, and all that, I think moving him down the order to make him more of a responsible batsman, would help the team. And for that, he has to take some sort of responsibility. He's one of the senior players in that team. How are you helping the youngsters by being that regular 20-over batsman at the top of the order when your team needs you for the 50 overs to be more of a leader with the bat in hand?
Well, that's what I said, because you got quite a few youngsters in that team where Melly could help out, like Luke Horan. There's a few more in there that that probably need guidance. Quasey could stay there. I don't have a problem with Quasey because Quasey's been opening for Willicott for the last, making runs all the time.
Right.
So that's it for him. But I'm thinking, you got to balance it out a little bit more, like especially with Melly, and then be a senior to help, just to help bring those youngsters through, talking to them in the middle of the order, and then not only that, stabilizing the innings too.
Right.
But like I said, they tried it twice and it's not worked out for them. They lost. I think they had the same too against Stars too.
Right.
Or first wicket, whatever it was. But they played 2 games and both arms, has got out, out early, or at least one out got out early. And then putting a lot of pressure on the other batsmen coming in.
Yeah, the youngsters, yeah.
I mean, it's something they need to talk about. I'm pretty sure when the other little boy comes back, that came from Cleveland, what's his name? I can't remember his name anyway. But he's away in school too.
Right.
He's like a top order batsman too, so. Maybe they could put him there. I don't know when he's coming back.
Right.
But like you said, that middle order really needs to come to grips.
Right.
To be built up for 110 this week, and then you're chasing like 135 last week, and build up cheaply twice.
Right.
They're definitely got to work out their batting order.
Yeah.
But then you got to go kudos to Cleveland too, because Cleveland, what they do, just lost 1 wicket getting the run. So
and they got them in 11 overs. They got the runs in 11 overs.
So I didn't know if it was the wicket, what, like that's.
Treddy got 17 off of 11. Kushai Darrell got 47 off of 28. And Stephen Brimmer, Kushai was not out, and Stephen Brimmer was not out, 29 off of 28. They dashed because if you look at the bowling figures, Luke Fulton, 3 overs, 1 for 26. Malachi, 2 overs, none for 21. Quasey, 2 overs, none for 24. Stephen Dill, 2.1 overs, none for 28. Luke Horan, 1 for 12. You know, I mean, the batsman went after the bowling.
Yeah. And you said they only lost 1 wicket, right?
One
Trey was
wicket.
the only one got
Trey
out.
was the only one out. Yeah, LBW.
Mm.
Yeah.
So that's boosting their run rate too. Of 11
without a
overs,
doubt,
knocking them on cheap. Their run rate is looking very good. But like I said, they still got some hard games coming up.
Yep.
They're going to be tested, especially when they play teams like Bay, St. George's.
Right.
Who else? Like St. Davis might give them a little run. So
Right. I think St.
and
Davis
this-
will be able to get themselves together. They just need to come together,
yeah,
have that
Mm.
behind closed door, everybody hash it out and move on kind of thing, for the
Yeah.
betterment of the youngsters that they have in the team. Because, when guys are not getting along and you got all these youngsters with all this heart and inspiration that want to play and want to learn, you're disheartening them, and then the minute they do something wrong, everybody's jumping on them, but nobody jumps on them and they make their mistake. You know what I mean? The senior players, when they make their mistakes, put their hand up and say, "Okay, I made a mistake."
Yeah.
But when a youngster does it, it's not okay. So that needs to be sorted out really, really quick.
Yeah. So like I said, Cleveland it's the real deal so far.
Yeah,
Guys like
yeah,
Alan Douglas, Dion Stoughton, these guys ain't getting better yet.
yep.
I don't know if that's good. I don't know if that's good or bad because it's still early season. They haven't batted when
That's
they
right.
don't, they might have to but like I said, I guess they don't want to change those three. Like those
Right.
three make a run, so they're gonna stick it. They'll have to stick with those three at least for the next couple of games. You don't change up that no order.
No,
If
you
you're
don't
winning.
change.
Yeah,
Not at all. Not
So
at
I'm
all.
sure Ellen and Dion will definitely get that turn. Eventually.
Yeah.
Even
I mean,
Makai
and
McGowan.
those patient guys.
You got Makai McGowan is not a big hitter too. So,
Yeah.
He has some better hitter.
Right.
So,
He got some practice against you on Friday night.
Yeah. He got some nice practice. That's why he don't mind playing. But like you said, it's been impressive. You got to give kudos to him. It's going to be hard games coming, so it's going to be interesting to see how they make out against the Bears and the St. George's and those teams. So
Right.
especially Allen playing against St. George's team is early team.
Yeah.
So that'll be an interesting matchup for him.
Very, very, very much so. Yesterday, the first division got underway up at the Somerset Cricket Club, where Willicotts edged the under-19 team by 55 runs. By 9 runs. Willicotts scored that 164. Antonio Darrow was the top scorer at 44. His runs came off of 45 balls. He had 6 fours and 1 6. Jamie McFarlane was the pick of the under-19 bowlers. He bowled 6 overs. He took 4 for 34. And then in reply, the under-19 was bowled out for 155 as a KO. Hart was the top scorer at 44. And they came off of 77 balls. He had 5 fours. And Darrell was the pick of the Willicotts bowlers. 8.1 overs, 4 for 40. Joseph Baston bowled 10 overs, 2 maidens, 3 for 28. So that match got the first division underway. The under-19 team, Doc, getting so close in the first game to a total of 164 against Willicotts. Coaches, what would they be saying to those youngsters right now?
Well, the first game of the season, but still, I know they'll be sitting down and talking to him. First thing, it would be the partnerships, And because if you look at it, they build them out, what's Willicotts get again? 150 something, 160 something?
164.
So, that in itself, was good building them out that cheap. But then, like I said, and we always had a problem with the under-19s when chasing Luke Toes like that there. The first objective is not to lose too many wickets. I saw them had a partnership going at one time, but then they was kept losing wickets regularly. Like nobody really stayed in. Like I said, the highest score was Boy Hart. He made 40 something. I think that he betted on towards. I think he betted number 5 or 6. I can't recall. But it's too bad like Luke Horan couldn't get no runs, and the boy Derlin.
Right.
He played for Stars. Because I'm having him training with the Stars, and he looks like a really good player. Today he made runs with Trey.
Right.
And just even if he would have checked in a bit to 19 team, it would probably been a different game. It's not only him. I know was a few other players like this boy DeShields, Romar DeShields. He's not a good batsman, but I'm sure the coaches will be sitting on talking to him. You can't knock teams down like that there.
Yeah.
And at least, they lost by 9 runs?
9 runs, yeah.
So, it's a heartbreak, but I wouldn't get too darn hard on them.
Right.
But like I said, these guys that any team that supposed to be batsmen will be looking hard at themselves too, like to make sure that doesn't happen again. You done that, your builders do all that hard work, and then you fail with the bet. I could only just say it's the first game of the season. Maybe there was a little bit of nervousness in him, inexperience, playing against which was a Premier team last year.
Right.
And so that's something they definitely need to work on, I'm sure. The coach Arnold and the rest of the coaching staff. I mean, I had a talk with Dylan today, and I had a little talk to him today. So I'm sure that these guys have a nice chat with him. They probably look at I know they probably had some footage of him and look at the game plan or betting where they lost it to.
Right.
And go from there. First game of the season, so they would definitely need to work on that.
Sure. Well, we're going to be joined by Jacon Edness very shortly, but we have one more game to discuss, and that's the Somerset versus Devonshire Recreation Club match that took place today at Devonshire Recreation Club. Somerset scored 275 all out. Top scorer, Gennaro Tucker, not out on 74 from 62 balls, 7 fours, 2 sixes. Jamal Proctor, 66 off of 41, 10 fours and 1 6. They had 2 players, Amari Eben scoring 33 and Dominic Subir scoring 31. In the bowling department for Devonshire Recreation Club, Shaquille Pitcher, 6.5 overs, 3 for 43. Lorenzo Simmons, 4 wickets for 69 runs off of 8 overs. So obviously, clearly, with the fact that Gennaro is playing for Somerset, they're still short of players to get them started the season. It was the problem they had some time ago as well. Or last season, at the beginning of the season, they had troubles with numbers. And a good thing for Somerset today, Gennaro stepped in and scored the 74, 75 not out.
Yeah. Well, like you said, I know you ran as assistant coach, and I probably thought that would happen early in the season.
Right.
They played 1 or 2 matches. Some of the players probably not back from school yet, but I was impressed with the little boy Proctor. He got 60 or 2. Here's a Berlin all around there, and but he came back. He's got the technique. He's been playing this in the UK for a bit, so he was able to get 60 something runs.
Yeah.
And Narrow is 70 something. So they said that's a good result for me, and I'm sure Narrow is passing on vital information in that for them in the betting. Making sure that these guys just basically doing the right thing on the bet. Sometimes you it's in the nets is a lot different than
out in the middle.
Most of the times a lot different when you got players around when you're in the nets.
Right.
So I'm sure Narrow has been out there talking to most of the batsmen. And
then,
making sure that and that's a good player they have for Somerset. And you got to remember Somerset still got a young team.
Very young,
So that's I think that's probably what Narrow will be doing, especially in the 50 was I know that in the 2020 you probably won't see Narrow playing that much because they're in the first division.
Right.
So being that I'm sorry, they are
in the first division in the 50 overs.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you know, in the 2020, you probably won't see Narrow be playing that much.
Right.
Because you know most of the players will be back at the end of the game. You know, Narrow, you might need them in the 2020 too. So, but you know, like I said, there's still some players that are not there, and I'm sure I saw one or two names that went there that didn't play today. So I said the little boy Amari Eben,
Yeah,
he's back too. His
back.
back, so you know it's a big to keep bets. I mean, they got a few runs too.
Right.
So you know that's another one. I think him and Proctor had a little partnership again.
Right. Yeah.
Because they had lost some early wickets.
Right.
And those two had a little partnership, and then Narrow came in and you know made some runs in the end.
Yeah,
so,
they took the score from 60 to 138. So
yeah,
78 run partnership there. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But like
And
I said, if you look at for them in the first division, I think they will be coming up very quickly in the 50 over.
Right.
With Narrow there.
Yeah.
And helping.
And then they build Devon Sharek out from 61.
Yeah.
Quintero Bean was the top scorer at 14. But the one person you were talking about, Proctor, 8 overs, 2 maidens, 6 for 17. So
it's a Berlin all-rounder, see?
Yeah.
And isn't he on the 19? Isn't he on the 19 score too? And he didn't get any runs on Saturday.
Right.
I didn't know how he got out. He didn't get to a few many, and he would. I think you know it was probably look for him to make runs too.
Right.
But like I said, he's got a good technique on him. You know, he's been in England a lot.
Right.
And his technique is very correct and good. So I could see him getting runs this season, and it's Berlin too. So you know, like I said, it's a Berlin all around. Sure. I mean, that's some good stats. 6 wickets. Like Steph got 7.
7. Yeah.
So lying and length, Bull at 2 wickets. And,
hey, Bull at the stumps, man. That's what they say. Bull at the stumps. Yeah.
Bull at the
So we're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to be joined by Jacon Edness, the coach of Western Stars. We'll be right back.
It seems everyone knows someone who's lactose intolerant or just avoiding dairy products. And fortunately, there's a growing array of delicious and nutritious alternatives. Pacific Natural Foods have been doing things their own way simply and sustainably for over a quarter century, making non-dairy beverages with the finest possible ingredients right down to the packaging. Try Pacific Natural Original and Vanilla Hemp Milk and Almond Original Plant-Based Beverage, all sweetened or unsweetened, and low-sodium organic vegetable or chicken broth. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
I'm also thankful and grateful because my greatest value of my life is my legacy.
But why I do it? I feel supposed to do it. I was put here to be here, to do what I'm doing right now. Once I see somebody moving, it's the greatest joy for me. There's a little person being born.
I am thankful that people have given me the trust, you know, for me to empower them, from my players to my family to friends, and that's what I'm thankful for.
Putting down the weapons.
You seen this?
And welcome back. And we are joined by Mr. Jacon Edness. Mr. Edness.
Good evening, Mr. Beasley.
How you doing?
I'm all right.
Good. Look like you're struggling there. What, you got a back problem?
So tired, just laying comfortably in my bed.
All right. Well, you know, you got off to a start where you guys lost your first game, but you bounced back to win 2 games. The preseason atmosphere for Western Stars, leading up to today's dominating performance. How has that been for you, as not just as a leader, but as someone that's been around this particular club for quite some time?
Yes, it's not just myself, but with the help of my uncle Andre, Justin Robinson, president of all Boyles. We are trying to rebuild Lesson Stars program, and it starts with the youth program. But in regards to the seniors, we started in March, late February, early March. We always start with indoor, going back to the basics. We do indoor, a lot of tennis ball work, fitness, different things like that. And then once April comes, we transition outdoors to Barkley, and that's where we start getting involved with the hardball, nets, and putting the repetitions that we built training at Delwood into practice with the hardball. Losing to Cleveland the first game of the season was disappointing. Not so much the loss, but the how we lost. Getting a good start at about 48 without loss to being built out for 130 yard. Yes, there were some 50-50 umpiring calls, but that comes with sports. You still expect someone or others to stand up, and it didn't happen that day. So for us to show character and go start off the season 0-1, go to Warwick with a difficult game, missing a few players to get through it, our guys got a lot of confidence from that game. And some people may say, you're expected to beat Warwick, but considering the circumstances where the wicket wasn't the best, again, as I said, we were short a few players, and to get that victory, we gained a lot of confidence, and that just should. Had a good week of training this week, and that just should today with the dominating victory.
Yeah. Looking at today's performance, obviously, Doc was talking earlier about, people applying themselves, getting those partnerships, building those innings. I indicated that Jason Anderson, the opener, was there for an hour and 7 minutes for his 21 runs. Getting a start like that, having someone just apply themselves to take the shine off the ball and be a leader from the beginning to show your youngsters what it takes. How important is it that the senior players are stepping up to do what the small things that are required to build a beginning?
Yeah, that's very important. And Jason has been around a long time. He came up playing with guys like Clay Smith, Randall Smith, down St. George's. So he understands the benefits of batting at the crease and how our team set up. We need him to play that role, and he did it well. We lost an early wicket, and then him and Dante Wellman put on a partnership to get us to about 70 yard. 70 yard for when he got out, made it about 70 yard for 2. But the team is relatively comfortable there, and he assured people, okay, look, if you just sit up and bat, apply yourself, we could score runs. So today we didn't set a target. The target was to bat 50 overs. I didn't want to put any score in these guys' heads. If we bat 50 overs, we win the game. And I didn't have 300 in my head, but I'll take it.
Right. Doc, you have anything for
No. What the comment was saying was correct. We had talked about just bet the 50 overs. Like you said, we scored 300, we scored 250, scored 290. That's the object, to bet the 50 overs. And we also talked about partnerships, like the one big partnership between Trey and
Deontay.
Deontay.
Derlin. That was, I think, that kind of set it off right. Even though you can, like you said, we can't say what the other two done too, like Wellman and Jason. So those two started it off by taking the shine off the ball. I think the wicket wasn't really that early on, and then when Trey and Dylan came in, the 140 run partnership, that that was a big partnership right there. And we always talked about partnerships, like you said. So once that partnership, those guys just stayed in and tried getting 100. It's unfortunate they got 40. I'd like to see them get 50, but still, it was the partnership, that broke Rangers back right there. And we always talk about partnerships.
Right. Well, Jacon, your next game is against a walking wounded St. David's team. They're 0-2. You got to play them on a spacious Lords on Sunday. What changes for your team? I mean, beat the gap today at Rangers, it's 4. Beat the gap at Lords, it's 2, possibly 4. So how do you plan to address the players for this particular match?
Well, as my Uncle Andre would know, we run singles pretty much after every training session. So at the end of the session, we set up across the Barclay nets, and we try to get about 25 singles, 1s, 2s, 3s, maybe even a 4. So guys are in relatively decent shape in regards to working singles. St. David's definitely, we go into the game with confidence, looking to put our best foot forward. Obviously, St. David's is, yes, the 0-2, but they are an experienced team. Justin Pitcher, OJ Pitcher, a few youngsters I heard I got down there as well. Derek Brangman, Ricardo Brangman. These guys have played cricket forever. So you can't take them lightly. No game in the Premier Division you could take lightly. You just have to go in. Again, look to bet the 50 overs first and foremost, and then we go from there.
Well, Jacon, I'm going to put you on the spot because I want you to hang around because we're going to pick the player of the week. You might be the decider. But first, we announced Rodney Trott as the player of the week last week, and this was the presentation at Gosling's.
Good day. It's cricket season again. Yes. And we're here with Rodney Trott, who helped Bailey's Bay to beat Southampton Rangers. Scored 89 runs, not out, and took 3 wickets as well. So player of the week, and he's earned himself a bottle of Flora Gold Rum. Thank you, Rodney. Keep up the good work. Cheers. Thank you. Enjoy.
That was the presentation for Gosling's. And let's take a look at the performances this week. We'll look at the Bayless Bay game. Derek Brangman, 4 wickets for 49 from 10 overs. He also went and scored 57 in the St. David's inning, although they lost. Downey Rollins scored 36, while he took 3 for 27. Those were the 2 all-rounders in that game. Obviously, Warwick and Cleveland County, we had Alan Douglas taking 3 for 13 off of 7 overs with 3 maidens. And then at Southampton, obviously, Trey scoring 103, Dante Wellman scoring 72, Rayonde Swan taking 3 for 61 off of 7.4, and then Seth Campbell in the inning of Southampton Rangers as they brought him out for 32, 6 overs, 2 maidens, 7 for 12. At Devonshire Recreation Club, we had Gennaro scoring 74 not out for Somerset. Jamel Proctor scored 66. Lorenzo Simmons took 4 for 69 for Devonshire Recreation Club. Shaquille Pitcher, 3 for 43. And then in the Devonshire Recreation Club inning, Proctor took 6 for 17 off of 8 overs with 2 maidens. And then, of course, the 2 matches, the match yesterday, we saw Jamie McFarlane take 4 wickets for 38 runs for the under-19s against Willocots. And, of course, Antonio Darrow took 4 for 40 from 8.1. So, Doc, you've heard some of those highlighting players. Who would stand out for you?
There's 2 for me. It's either Proctor or Seth to me.
Yes. Okay.
Seth 7 for 12, and little boy Proctor got 60 runs and 6 wickets.
6 wickets.
Yeah. Sometimes
Yeah.
No, I said sometimes you look at the opposition, but still it doesn't matter. I mean, like,
Right.
it's what it is, isn't it? That's a
Yeah.
good all-round performance from him. I mean, you can't. You got to look at Seth's too. 7 for 12. I
Right.
mean, like, so that's my 2. I don't know which one you
Uh,
guys would decide.
I lean right towards Proctor because of the fact that he produced with both bat and ball. Regardless, like you say, regardless who the opposition is, you got to apply yourself, and he applied himself with both bat and ball, and helped Somerset to a convincing win over Devonshire Recreation Club. Not negating what Seth nor what Trey was able to do against Southampton Rangers. You know, a century, and then 7 wickets. Chakran.
You guys already picked him.
Yeah.
You picked both of you picked Proctor.
So
Whatever food I eat, it doesn't make a difference.
So I'm gonna put you in the spot. What's your vote?
My vote's Tree.
Okay.
It didn't make a difference anyway. So.
All right. So we're gonna congratulate Jamal Proctor as being the Gosling's Player of the Week for his performance at Devonshire Recreation Club for Somerset Cricket Club. So again, we will be, hopefully next week we'll be joined by another co-host. Unfortunately, things happened earlier today that prevented him from joining us this evening, and totally understand. And we want to wish everyone at this time, it's a difficult time for a lot of people around the country in sport. And we want to wish everybody all the best. They'll be in our prayers. And we hope that, justice prevails very soon, and we can kind of all get back to some sort of normalcy in our feelings, but never forget. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining this evening. Folks, we'll be back next week, Sunday, with another edition of the Island Stats Cricket Show. Have a good night.
Yes, thanks, Harold.